we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
So coming into this, Steven Spielberg has a history of sort of young men who are seeking something greater, and we see as far back as Close Encounters. There's sort of a contemporary version of this in War of the Worlds. Did you look at that arc in his older films before you took this role?
That's funny. To be honest, I hadn't put that connection together, but you're absolutely right. And I guess it's sort of a universal story. It's one of the things I love about this movie is it is a Spielberg film. It's entertaining as hell. It's actually a really riveting and intense drama to watch, even though it's impeccably accurate to the history and really smart. You know, Tony Kushner wrote the script. Tony Kushner's, Pulitzer Prize winning writer and one of the, I think, great minds of our time. And I love that it's not just a biography. It's focused on this one moment. It tells a really specific story, the story of passing the 13th Amendment to outlaw slavery.
This is a film packed with very impressive performances, and I have to say you managed to steal quite a few scenes.
Well, I don't know about that, but I was there, certainly.
This is I would watch a spin-off of this Mr. Bilbo character. He seems sort of a 19th century con man rake. How much research goes into, this was a real guy?
I'm depicting a real guy in name in the film. And some of the actions within the film that he's involved with took place. But there was a certain amount of poetic license in terms of who he was and how he behaved and carried himself.
I was hearing you underwent a kind of unusual approach building character through text messages on this.
Yes, we did. It was started by Daniel, but we lived on separate sides of the country and the world. He was even in Ireland half the time. And so by the time I had the role, it was, decided it was mine. And he started texting me. He doesn't email, and it would be totally in character, which it had to be. It was very difficult to do because we had to try to write with the language of the time, which was hard and really fun. So that was, we just kept doing that.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was just telling me it was a very strange experience meeting Daniel Day-Lewis, and then when it was done, meeting him again.
Yeah.
Did you have a similar experience?
I did, and I didn't. I don't know. I just, by the time we were actually doing the film, and I was so Mary, and he was so Mr. Lincoln, there was something in it, the whole experience. In first of all, our scenes are incredibly emotional, together, and intimate, and there was some connection that Sally felt as a human being to this man that was him. And so I don't, even as I saw him afterward, now with he and I both look so different. His hair is so different, and I'm 25 pounds less weight. And he said to me when he saw me, "Oh my God, that's half of you," because I had gained so much weight for the role. And there's still that connection. There's still those eyes and that gentle, generous, man that he is.
Yeah, Daniel and I traded some texts. I think ours were maybe less in character than his and Sally's, but they were more formal and erudite than most texts that I write or read.
Part of what's fascinating is it is so many characters, and you feel they have a complete story.
In many cases, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are historical figures. But I mean, any actor should bring that, no matter whether they're playing a historical figure or not. I mean, any actor should bring a whole story with them, depicting any character, no matter how small. In this case, everybody just was so for me, I was riveted when I saw the film.
By the same token, though, while the whole story is focused, we get the sense that Robert Todd Lincoln could have his own movie. You see a little glimpse of this story that's much bigger than what we get to see.
It's a fascinating story between Abraham Lincoln and his eldest son, Robert, and that's who I play. First of all, it's a strained relationship. You know, you think of Abraham Lincoln, he's such a great guy, one of the greatest men in history. You'd figure he would have a great relationship with his son. Not so. He was actually sort of an absent father. And when Robert was growing up, he was, you know, on the circuit. So I really admire getting to show Abraham Lincoln as a human being with those flaws, with those moments of hypocrisy and compromise, in addition to his virtues and strengths, because it's more true, and B, it makes it a much more fun movie to watch. Because to me, that's what makes a fun drama. That's what makes it riveting.
Abraham Lincoln has asked us to work with him to accomplish the death of slavery.
No one's ever been loved so much by the people. Don't waste that power.
This fight is for the United States of America.
Do we choose to be born, or are we fitted to the times we're born into?
Well, I don't know about myself. You may be.
This settles the fate for all coming time. Not only of the millions now in bondage, but of unborn millions to come. Shall we stop this bleeding?